what has your journey been like with Dissecting Minds so far?
I'll go first time.
Okay.
No, I didn't first time.
It's been really, really, really interesting. As Jay said, the most important part has been the journey. So the journey itself has been really eye-opening, because like I'm definitely a person that like reflects. So being in this, looking at me, seeing what I'm somewhat capable of, seeing my flaws, and you know, just like putting pieces together, and just like, you know, just making things happen is like, it's a real positive thing, especially you know, just it itself. I think that the most interesting part for me has been seeing how the outside world moves. So seeing like people from the past pop up in a very discreet and hidden way. They think that you can't see, but you can, because they don't know. They don't know how. They don't know how it works behind the scenes and stuff. So things that I wouldn't have known or seen if I wasn't, like, you know, taking the role that I was, I'm able to see, and it's like, oh, okay, slimy bitch. But yeah, no, it's good, because I mean, ultimately, this is just positive. Like, there ain't nothing in this but positive vibes, like the manifestation of Dissecting Minds and seeing where it's come from, where it was, and knowing where it's gonna go and how it's gonna turn out once we remain consistent. That's just it. That's it for me, innit?
For me, I think I can say it's an exciting journey, because it's something completely different. I've done things in groups, but not like on this level, and it's got purpose as well. I think because we know what our purpose is, and it's beyond us, but it's via us. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I said earlier, I'm enjoying it. It's pure banter all the time, but as much as we banter, we're still serious, but not serious on a level like this is what it is. It's just we can state facts, or we can question things that we're unsure of. There's no one coming out here saying like, I know what it is, I know more than you. There's no competition amongst us, and I think that's one of the greatest things. Like, everybody's on their own journey, but yet we're on a journey together, and it's helped me to realise a lot about myself, whether it be the way that we're challenged, like especially Ash will ask questions, but it's good because it's like you'll challenge it, innit? So there'll be times where things are said that sometimes people might not question you on, and it's just left there. But when someone challenges you, it makes you think deeper. So it's like, okay, I've got that thought, but where did that thought come from? Why is it still here? So I like the fact that I'm challenged as a person, but it allows me to challenge and question myself. So when we're offset and I go home, there'll be times where I'm sitting there thinking, right, like, do you know what? I didn't even think about that before, like today, until they asked me that question, or why I do things a certain way. And even down to little things like watching myself. I was like, Ash, like this whole watching yourself back, it was just like, I don't even like hearing my own voice. If I'm listening to a recording, just to hear that I said what I was supposed to say, you know, you hear it back, you're like, is that how I sound?
So what? Do all you lot watch yourself back then?
I've started watching it, and that's because I was like, watch this, and he's like, did you watch it? I'm like, oh.
Okay, because like obviously, without really, you know, getting into it, but like obviously because of the role, I have to, innit? So I'm always watching it back, and you know, like in regards to things like your life path number and stuff like that, and it says certain things about you and stuff. Like I've always seen perfectionist and I never noticed it until taking a role that I have, because now I'm always looking and analysing it. So the way I would watch it wouldn't really be how you guys would watch it anyway, because of you know.
See, and for me, I think I look at it because sometimes when people say things, or just in general, you know, like when you have conversations with friends, and sometimes I'm thinking, why do people not get where I'm coming from? Like when I'm explaining, unless it's someone that's on the same level as me, literally. So watching things back have allowed me to see things from closer to someone else's perspective, innit? Because you know, when you say things, you know where it's coming from, you know where your head was at when you said it, you know how you mean it. Someone else doesn't know unless sometimes you break it down, and even then they don't always get it. So when I'm watching it back, I'm like, oh, that might be why they said that, or why they asked it. I'm guilty. I know full well I'm a person of facial expressions, innit? But I didn't even realize how bad they are sometimes. So when I watch it back, or even down to my laugh, like I realize I'm sitting there like, bloody hell, is there an actual recording where I don't laugh? Like whether it be on entry or at a point, and I realize I'm not always laughing just because something's funny. It might be like a defense mechanism or a shyness, and I'm laughing, but
that is your thing.
Yeah.
You
so
laugh when it's uncomfortable.
Exactly. So now I'm seeing.
I didn't even catch that.
Yeah.
I didn't even see it as uncomfortability still.
You see, now some people
when
don't.
When you're being challenged, you're like,
but the thing is, it's true.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I know it, so like I know it, but I didn't realise how prevalent it was. So,
but I didn't recognise it until that last one.
Innit?
Yeah, last one when I was like, shit.
You were trauma.
That's but I didn't notice it until that one when I was like, shit, that was uncomfortable, because you was like, oh shit, what did I do?
And I wasn't laughing because I found it funny, but now when I watch it back, I realise how often I do it.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm like, I do this all the time, and I'm thinking, so when people are watching me, like for those that get it, they're seeing how uncomfortable I am. For those that don't get it, they're thinking, Jesus, this girl just laughs all the time. But then I'm still getting a better picture of how other people may view things that I am saying or doing and things like that. So in that sense, it's good. Not to say I want to curb it, because for me, I like the fact that I can be raw and unfiltered with you guys. So it's allowing me to keep pure in it and be me. But then it also shows me when we are doing things on a more professional level how vastly different our things are.
I think it's really interesting because, like, for me, watching the stuff back, it's like obviously you lot will know through like being around me personally, and I'm not a talker. I'm not on it. Like I don't want to talk. So even in regards to this, I don't want to talk, but that's not reality. In order for this thing to be what it is, I have to give, just like we all have to give.
Yeah.
So I have to kind of keep it going somewhat by giving, but at the same time, I ain't comfortable. But I think that's where you get
out of our
the glory in a sense by being uncomfortable and just.
But I would say,
getting on with it.
I would say you're not a talker, but when you're in the right space, you're ready to
true.
talk.
No, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Because we've had some sick comments. Like, I swear we've had conversations like 3 hours at points on the phone. And you're like, yo, like, bro, we've been on the phone for 2 hours, but it's just been gems and gems.
Yeah.
But I think the good thing is we've all of us have come out of our comfort zones in doing this, whether it be in answering questions, in being challenged, it doesn't matter, in some way, shape or form, we've done it, but we're not uncomfortable by being uncomfortable, if that makes sense. I
think because it's like a thing of where deep down we know that it's bigger than us.
Yeah.
Deep down, it's bigger than us.
This isn't for us.
Yeah.
We're using ourselves as a model.
Yeah.
That people can be like, oh, I need to look at myself too. Yeah.
I think the greatest thing though is, as you said, when you can go in and see the comments that people make, and it's like, it's not just about, I like what you're saying, or I like what you're doing. It's not about just liking us, or it's when people start questioning things, or when there's them little conversations going on in the comments.
I had a judgel spell.
Who
invited him to the barbecue?
Do you know what I mean? Like, but things like that, it's just like, wow, like it's allowing people to come out. I think the fact is that's what we wanted to do, and we wanted to create a safe space for everyone to come out and be free to speak how they want to. So whether we agree with what they're saying or not is irrelevant. It's that platform where they can do that. So
I think it's just interesting that like people just don't know that this is the testing period. Like this is not it. Like this is just the testing period. Like this is like a step to the step. You know? So
we haven't even hit them.
If you're watching Dissecting Minds, you think that this is it, but this is testing. This is not it. So yeah.
and you could always learn how to decode him.